We ready to go? Okay. I'd like to go ahead and start this meeting. This is a public meeting of the Denham Springs City Council held November the 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. here in the courtroom of the municipal building at 116 North Range Avenue here in Denham Springs. All notices have been posted and the media has been notified as required by law. I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask Councilman Poole to lead us in the invocation and pledge.
Privileged to do so. Thank you, Mayor. Let's pray. Father, we're humbled once again to invite you into this chamber as we go about this community's business this evening. We ask, Father, that you would be present in our decisions, that you'd be present in this room, that your spirit would fill our hearts, that our minds would be open to your call, Father, that your people would be served by the decisions that we make this evening. So again, we give you thanks for this great community and ask for your continued blessings upon this administration, upon the employees that work so diligently for this great city, and all of those who choose to call it home. We love you as we give you thanks and ask all of these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll, please.
Dugas? Yes. Here. Gilbert?
Here.
Lamb Williams? Here. Poole?
Here.
Wesley?
Okay, agenda item number 1, reports. Is Rick with us? Rick, you got anything to say?
It should be in the bulk.
It's in the packet, okay. City Attorney, Stephanie? No reports. Engineers, I don't think we have any engineers with us this evening. Eddie, are you well, he's gonna come up later and talk, right? Okay, very good. Planning and zoning?
We need next Monday.
Okay, all right, very good. The fire report, I think, is in your folder, as is the animal report and police. Chief, you have anything else to add to the police report?
No, sir.
Okay, it's all good, very good. Item 2, approve as published in the official journal minutes of the October 27th, 2025 City Council meeting. Motion by Wesley. Second by Gilbert. Madam Clerk, call for the vote, please.
Dugas? Yes. Gilbert?
Yes.
Lamb Williams? Yes. Poole?
Yes.
Wesley?
Yes.
Item 3, adopted consent agenda for October 1, 2025 through October 31, 2025. That's in your paperwork.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Gilbert, second by Dugas. Madam Clerk, call for the votes.
Dugas? Yes. Gilbert?
Yes.
Lamb Williams? Yes. Poole?
Yes.
Wesley?
Yes.
Item 4, authorize condemnation of 323 Edgewood Drive. That quote is in your packets. Rick, that's one we've been working on for quite some time, is that right?
Quite some time, yes, sir.
Do you have a number on that one? I'm trying to get to the page here.
The first, 323 Edgewood Drive is $6,600.
And no other issues, Rick?
No, this one, no, it's gone through, Board of Housing Appeals was sent over here. The absentee attorney was consulted and the recommendation based on their tracking everything down, unless I misspeaking, was to, go ahead and demolish.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Gilbert, second by Dugas. Madam Clerk?
Dugas? Yes. Gilbert?
Yes.
Lamb Williams? Yes. Poole?
Yes.
Wesley?
Yes.
Item 5, authorize condemnation of 329 Edgewood Drive. Again,
This one is a $2,000 quote. It doesn't have as much structure there or concrete to all.
Motion to approve.
motion by Dugas.
Second.
Second by Gilbert. Madam Clerk?
Dugas? Yes. Gilbert?
Yes.
Lamb Williams? Yes. Poole?
Yes.
Wesley?
Yes.
Item 6, hold a public hearing for the formation of an economic development district. So declare the public meeting open. And is there anybody that would have questions or comments in the audience tonight? So please, nobody? Okay. Eddie, is there some comments you'd like to make?
So, first one is Jim Ryan said he's 13 minutes out.
13 minutes out.
Yeah.
So you can tap
So I told him
dance?
I'd stall for it.
You can tap dance for that long, sir?
Filibuster.
So guys, this is the exciting project that we've been talking about for months now. This is where we actually asked you guys to rezone it back to C2, which would allow this development to take place. Phase one of the 60 some odd acres is about 23 acres. And what the TIF district would cover would be all of the infrastructure for that phase one, streets, drainage, sewer, water, and the exciting new Denham Springs Conference Center. So, kind of mad at Jim that he's not here yet, because I expected him to do all the talking. But any questions that you guys have, I'd be happy to answer.
I know the hotel operator is doing his own funding, and he anticipates about a $30 million job or cost of the hotel.
And the infrastructure there, it looks like it's gonna be a little less than $10 million.
Okay, and then the conference center itself about,
Conference center with, if we're estimating 20,000 square foot, you're probably looking at around $7 million.
okay, and it,
What was that number again?
For the conference center, approximately 7 million for a 20,000 square foot conference center.
now that's larger than what I just talked to you about, but
Yeah.
we should come back if we have to, right?
That's right, those decisions are not set in stone yet as far as how big the conference center would be. Mayor, I think the number of rooms they were looking for
130, I
is
think.
about 130 rooms for the hotel.
So the formation of the TIF is phase one. That's where you start. And then you guys have to do your work on the design and cost analysis for the conference center.
Right, we'll prepare a preliminary engineering report, which will detail all of the costs for all the different components for the infrastructure, conference center, and any other bits and pieces that are included in the infrastructure.
All right. There's no wetlands issue we need to be concerned about.
So the great news is that earlier this year, there were some significant changes to the rules and regulations that they use to determine what's jurisdictional wetlands and what's not, which were extremely favorable for this site. There are some what's called other U.S. waters, but the preliminary reports are there's no jurisdictional wetlands, and that's all been sent to the Corps of Engineers for concurrence.
All right, and then one of the other questions that we seem to have a lot of is traffic like we do anywhere else, any
Right.
development in the parish, right?
And that's something there that, you and I were just talking about is, ironically enough, this is gonna be the catalyst for one of those components that has been approved for many years that's gonna help with our traffic issues, which is, the Demco Drive is what we call it, which would connect Range Avenue with the new roundabout at Highway 16 in Cook, which would be another east-west corridor that the motors can use to get from Denham over to Juban to our big commercial development, Juban Crossing. This would also be the beginning of that north-south road that would connect. There would be another connector street from Rushing up to Demco Drive that the motors could then go west to Range Avenue or east to the Juban Crossing development, which would keep more people off of the interstate and off of that interchange at Range and I-12.
And those wheels have been in motion, like I say, for almost a decade now to get that
Don
done.
Hooper in our office actually prepared the first alignment cost estimate for Demco Drive probably about 15 years ago.
Wow.
It's been a long time.
So that seems to be the plan that DOTD wants to implement so that we can have traffic flow and congestion at the interstate reduced.
Yeah.
This project fell right in the center of this, so the fix is almost already in for any traffic issues that the hotel and the conference center may bring us, right?
Right, and some of these TIF dollars will go toward that portion of Demco Drive and that north-south street that will connect to Rushing, so it'll certainly help speed up the whole traffic improvement plan for Denham Springs.
Now we have, and maybe y'all can share the podium. Joe Moore, do you mind coming up to the podium so we can ask you some questions about the development, what it's going to look like? Folks in the audience, this is Joe Moore. He's a commercial realtor, and he helped us tremendously, not only with Juban, but he also helped with the Bass Pro development quite some time ago. So can you give us your thoughts?
Yeah, well, this is like our Encore project, but it's a key piece of the puzzle for the interloop that's gonna bring people from Juban down to Range Avenue. But to have the anchor was the key ingredient along with the conference center. There hasn't been a place in Denham or really in the parish where people could gather and have large events, gatherings for public and private meetings. And that's what the anchor point of the project is. But the commercial development, similar to the pad sites that we did at both Bass Pro and over at Jubin, those will create really a multi-use project that will have, a place to stay, a place to eat, a place to dine, and a place to meet. So that's what the whole crux of the project is. It's a multi-use project. It's been rezoned for all these different types of uses. The roundabout's gonna be a key component of it because it will keep traffic flowing. So we won't have any red lights at the main entrance to the property. And the pad sites, as you can see, are very, very strategically placed along the corridor.
So do you see continued development coming from Jubin Mall all the way down Cook Road to the roundabout?
Part of the group that was instrumental in meeting with you about this project for the past 4 months, we were privileged to be some of the first people to drive from Jubin over to Pete's Highway, and it's impressive. That corridor is gonna be amazing because you can envision what Seaton Lane looked like and what Blue Bonnet looked like. That's what you're gonna have when they open up that 4-lane from Jubin to downtown Denver. It's gonna be amazing.
And so there's gonna be a lot of traffic, so we have to have our ducks in a row to make sure that we get Demco Drive as soon as we can.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be an amazing property and a nice place to come and enjoy the community.
In past conversations with DOTD, of course, they just finished range, good or bad or indifferent. That's their interpretation of what we needed to do, right? And ironically, you know where it stops. It stops about where Demco Drive is gonna come in.
Right.
And so they knew.
Demco too has some property there that's an incubator, but they have plans to enlarge that component of their property. So it's gonna all tie in together rather well, I think.
Yeah, I think Demco has some retail space, a couple, 4 or 5 acres behind the incubator that they want to develop as well. Do you think there's gonna be some nationwide type vendors that wanna come?
Yeah, there is, and not just on the retail side, but the big properties to the south, what we call phase 2, that's gonna become your new front lawn for the city as people are driving down I-12. All that property will be opened up visually. You'll be able to see the water tower, the hotel, the conference center. And we have some activities that we're planning to recruit and market to see that front lawn develop in a multi-use fashion as well.
So the front of the hotel is gonna face Rushing, we think? Or, well, at least one side of it will for sure. There'll be a pond or water
You
feature.
see the rendering here, so it's gonna be a pretty impressive view from the interstate. You'll be able to see it from the
Right,
interstate.
and then of course the water tower is gonna be the backdrop.
That's right.
So everybody knows exactly where they are. Okay. very
We're
good.
excited about it. I'm ready for an encore. We're about finished over in Jubin, and this is gonna be the next great thing for.
The next great thing for
Livingston
Livingston Parish. Okay. And then of course you go to trade shows, all over the
About
country.
4 of them a year, and of course, we market year round. During COVID, we learned how to market quite heavily over the internet, so a lot of it's driven now, year round. It's not just the meetings that we go to anymore, it's a year round
Okay.
marketing campaign.
Council, y'all have any questions or comments from anybody?
I have a couple. I guess to Eddie or Mr. Idell, the Demco improvement, Demco Drive, that's part of the TIF then?
That portion through the development, which is roughly about half of it.
Yeah, okay. So it's not complete all the way through to?
I'm not saying that we couldn't do that, because one of the big things that Jim and his team is gonna do is figure out what kind of revenue this will generate and what size bond issue would support.
Okay.
And at that time, Jim may give us some fantastic news and we figure out we can build the whole Demco Drive, but that's the man that can, give us all that.
Robert, it's really gonna come down to what, they call a market study. And that's probably the biggest thing in front of us right now. When we start getting, we know we have the hotel, we know we'll be able to generate enough money for the visitor center. That shouldn't be a problem at all. But when we get down to having letters of intent from retailers, and I'm just making up names, Starbucks, Wendy's, whatever it is, and we have letters of intent and sign lease agreements, then the bankers, the underwriters will take those and they'll do a study and they'll say, well, if it's gonna be this store, this store, this store, and this store, that'll generate on average X number of dollars in sales tax and property taxes, and then we can size the bond issue. You know, we can look at those revenue numbers and say, well, based on these new taxes, we can generate this much money. Right now, conservatively, and don't hold me to this, but we're estimating probably $8 million, $9 million in the construction fund. So if the market study goes better than that, it could be north of that. If it, you know, if we don't get the letters of intent and the leases that we hope we get, it could be less than that. But I think the convention center, we're guessing is around $3 million.
Well, at 20, it's just say $350 a square foot is what I would use for preliminary estimate. So it depends on what size the convention center ends up being.
So the convention center will be built by the bonds.
Yes. If the $3 million number is roughly correct, 3, 4, somewhere in there, I don't foresee any problem with that at all. So, you know, at a minimum, we'll walk away with this with a nice nationally branded hotel and a nice, I don't like to say convention center. Conference center. And a nice conference center that will benefit the whole area. And the conference center will be paid for by no new taxes. I'm sure as Eddie and the mayor have explained, this works exactly like Bass Pro and exactly like Jubin Crossing. All of the infrastructure you see at Jubin Crossing, all of the roads, the water, the sewer, the drainage, the lighting, the sidewalks, all of that was paid for with new taxes that were generated on a piece of property that was generating no taxes. And it's really, again, as I'm sure the mayor explained, it's really a better scenario than that, because we're not asking for all of the taxes, all of the new taxes. Like, for example, we would be asking the visitors and convention center, they levy a 3% hotel motel occupancy tax. We're only asking for half of the new hotel motel taxes that we generate. So right now, there's no hotel motel tax generated on that property. So we're just asking for half that. Same thing with the drainage district. Right now, they kick in 40% of the new taxes that Jubin Crossing generates. The drainage district lets them use that for drainage within Jubin Crossing. And it would be the same thing here. We would ask the drainage district if we could have 40% of whatever new taxes we generate by doing this development to use for drainage within the boundaries of the TIF district.
Does the Economic Development District maintain ownership, maintenance of the convention center?
Yes, but it would be done with a lease agreement, a long-term lease agreement with the hotel operator more than likely. But you all would have to, you as EDD would have to put out an RFP for management services to manage the conference center. And obviously logically the person that is probably the most qualified to do that is going to be the hotel motel operator, because it's going to be adjacent to and tied to the hotel motel. So it's hard for, for example, if I'm running the hotel and I'm using my kitchen facilities and I can walk through a little 10-foot corridor, that connects the convention center to the hotel, and I'm going to be able to provide food and beverage a lot cheaper than anybody else's on the outside. So,
But the facilities is on our balance sheet.
yes, it will be an asset of the city. Well, of the TIF district. And I know that for all intent and purposes, the council is the governing authority of the
Just
TIF
like
district.
Bass Pro, like you said. Right.
Yeah, but it'll be, where's Michelle?
She's on vacation.
It'll be a separate audit. They'll have their own audit, their own set of books. So it'll be an asset district's balance sheet.
And I guess the thing that intrigues me the most is what happened, like with Bass Pro, there's a private development there. There's an independent corporation that owns the property eventually, and we're at a point now to where we have no further claim on it.
Right.
That'll never happen with this, right? This will remain an asset on our balance sheet in perpetuity.
Of the TIF district's balance sheet.
Right, okay.
And just like Bass Pro, that TIF district has the authority under state law to levy a sales tax. Does not require voter approval, in fact, they've been levying it. And what you'll see moving forward is that tax will likely be reduced because the bonds are paid off, but they'll levy some small property tax and some small sales tax out there to maintain the infrastructure that is owned by that TIF district, because the TIF district owns the roads, water, sewer, lighting, drainage, just like Juban Crossing. So when they have the debt outstanding initially, those TIF districts are levying everything they can under state law to pay the bonds down as fast as they can. But typically what you see is when the bonds go away, those TIF districts greatly decrease the taxes, obviously, because it drives up sales, but they maintain enough of a tax to maintain the infrastructure. So I guess you and I are driving at the same point. It's not going to become a financial burden down the road on the city when the bonds are paid off. The taxes don't go away. The TIF district has more than enough taxing authority by themselves without any help from the parish or the drainage district or the Convention and Visitors Bureau to levy maintenance taxes in the form of property taxes and sales taxes. Good point, Robert.
My last question, because it's always an issue, what about sewer treatment and so forth? It's gonna be a heavy burden on something. Are we gonna do that independent of our facility, or?
No, it's gonna tie into our collection system and go to Forest Lab treatment plant.
Yeah, okay.
And that is one of the best places to connect, because as far as the collection system goes, it's a very short distance,
Right.
relatively speaking, to get it over to the Forest Lab treatment plant. So if I was gonna pick a place to put it, it's a great location.
Okay.
Well, the hotel, I mean, the convention center will be operated by the hotel owner or manager, but it will generate some revenue through its use, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so-
And I want to be very clear about that. I'm not saying that the hotel operator is going to operate and have the management contract on the convention center. The TIF district will do an RFQ, a request for qualifications, for someone to manage the visitor center. If someone can do it cheaper and better, they get it. As a bean counter, as a inactive CPA, personally, I don't see, from a business perspective, how anybody would compete with that. Because again, just food and beverage alone, it is going to be, it's going to be hard to beat that. So.
Sure.
I'm sorry, I have a quick question. I'm sorry. The hotel itself, so you're saying the kitchen will be in the hotel? I would assume, since we're saying that they would be preparing like a full commercial kitchen that would be able to handle a convention center with that size.
Yes.
I mean, obviously and then also the hotel itself.
Yes.
So they're building that infrastructure in.
Yes.
Is what we're saying.
That is the plan, because while the convention center won't be connected to the hotel, it will be a climate controlled walkway between the hotel and the convention center, 10 feet long.
Okay.
Any other questions from anybody? No? Okay. Declare the public hearing closed. Do we need a motion for that?
I'll make a motion that we.
Motion by Land Williams, second by Dugas. Madam Clerk, call for the vote.
Dugas,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Yes. Poole,
Yes.
Wesley.
Yes.
Item 7, and I think, Jim, you want to read this into the minutes?
This is just a notice of introduction of ordinance. So we won't discuss it tonight, because the point of this introduction is to tell the public that we'll have a public hearing at a later date. Notice is hereby given that the following titled ordinance has been introduced before the City Council of the City of Denham Springs, Louisiana, and that a public hearing will be held relative hereto at 6 p.m. Monday, November 24th, 2025, at Courtroom Municipal Building, 116 North Range Avenue, Denham Springs, Louisiana, 70726. After which said ordinance may be considered for adoption. All interested persons are urged to attend. This ordinance in its entirety may be reviewed or obtained from the City Council's office. It will be an ordinance creating the City of Denham Springs Conference Center Economic Development District, State of Louisiana, defining the boundaries thereof, from which all local sales tax incrementally will be determined and used to finance economic development projects in accordance with and as authorized by Parts 2 and 3 of Chapter 27 of Title 33 of the Louisiana Revised Statutes of 1950 as amended, and providing for other matters in connection with the foregoing.
Okay, that's all we have to do is read it, so it's read into the minutes. Okay, thank you, sir, appreciate that.
Thank you all.
Been our motion
Motion to authorize.
to authorize the hearing,
I'll motion to authorize
do guys?
hearing.
So we're authorizing the public hearing on November the 24th.
I need a second.
Second by Lamb Williams. Madam Clerk, call for the vote.
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Yes. Poole,
Yes.
Wesley.
Yes.
Okay. Item 8, approve a payment to Michael Wyckoff in the amount of $3,073.21 for damage to his door caused by the Denham Springs Fire Department.
Do we know what happened with that?
There are 410 West North College and East North College. And we went to the wrong one. She,
Her life alert did not say east or west,
right?
and there was a package on this porch with the lady's name on it. That had been misdelivered, so it's not the fire department's fault.
Perfect storm, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That's exactly right.
Medical call?
Yes,
That's so scary.
And so apparently they're happy with the settlement.
it's the actual cost of the repair.
Okay, very good.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Lamb Williams, second by Wesley. Madam Clerk, call for the vote.
Dugas,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Yes. Poole,
Yes.
Wesley. Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Lamb Williams, second by Poole to adjourn. Madam Clerk?
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Yes. Poole,
Yes.
Wesley.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.